Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, it's my brethren Larry, the Eastern Assassin Holmes. That's what we got on television right now. We got Larry Holmes versus Lucien Rodriguez, a random fight I've never seen before, but I'm a big Larry Holmes fan, so kind of just watching random fights as I make videos here. But I wanted to talk about Errol Spence because a recent article was reported on Boxing Scene um, about Errol Spence Jr. He is in preparation, obviously, for his big fight coming up this week with um, what's his name, Lamont Peterson, and that'll be on Saturday at the Barclays Center. And they obviously up until the fight, when the fight happens, they're going to be asking him about Keith one time Thurman because that's a big fight. Keith currently is the unified welterweight or unified with WBC, and I believe what not IBF, WBA, so WBC WBA champion, and that fight that's a fight that if Keith didn't have the hand injury, it'd probably be happening this year, but we're most likely gonna have to wait till 2019. And they asked Earl about that, and just like they asked Earl about that, and as far as Keith Thurman being hesitant to give Errol Spence not just fight Errol Spence, but he's also been hesitant to give Errol Spence praise. He generally does that with fighters. If you listen to his interviews, he tends to always demean and degrade other fighters' wins and accolades, but not his own. Even when it's very easy to do that. Like for example, he'll say if Errol Spence fought like a Luis Collazo, or like when he fought Chris Algieri, good example. When he fought Chris Algieri, which was at the time his first real step up fight against a decent opponent that he was supposed to beat. He criticized Earl, like he does many other fighters, for fighting a guy who wasn't a natural 147 pounder and a guy who was really a real 140 pounder. But meanwhile, you've had Keith struggle against guys like Luis Collazo, who really are 140 pounders who come out to 147. So it's the same thing, but he doesn't do the same thing necessarily with his own career when he looks at that. So Errol kind of commented on that type of thing that happens with him, and here's what he said. He said, I quote, "I guess he has called me a hot air balloon and said that he is going to burst my bubble. Keith Thurman has said a lot of things in the past that he hasn't lived up to. He calls himself one time, but he hasn't been one time for a long time. I mean, I don't care what Keith Thurman says until he signs a contract. It doesn't matter what he says. Everything else is irrelevant." So, boy, Earl of Truth Spence, letting that man Keith one time Thurman know straight up, hey, like you call yourself one time, but you ain't been one time for quite some time. And if we're talking as Keith being one time, he only fights one time a year most of the time these days. So, yeah, and he's right, man, because it's been a long time. And I know you guys know I know you guys know this to be true. For the most part, like Keith Thurman has not looked sensational in a long time. Like he's won fights, he stepped it up in opposition, but name me the last time you saw a Keith Thurman fight and you were like, man, that was just an out of this world performance by Keith Thurman. He hasn't had one because a lot of people thought he lost the Sean Porter fight, and even though he beat Danny Garcia, it wasn't a fight where he. I mean, some people say he outclassed Danny Garcia. I don't think he outclassed Danny Garcia because I think he was very weary of the counterpunching and accuracy of Danny Garcia. So you see what I'm saying? So like he won the fight, but it wasn't his best performance. He hasn't had a great performance for like a good, I'm gonna say 3 years now. It's been 3 years since we had a great Keith Thurman performance. But meanwhile, you look at Errol Spence, who fought some of the same guys Keith Thurman, most notably like a guy like Leonard Bundu, a guy that is a good, sound, technical boxer. That Keith, I believe Keith went. He might have went the whole distance with Bundu, and that's where it kind of really started. Bundu, he fought Bundu, and I think they went the full 12, and he fought Bundu. And since the beginning of from that fight to now, he really has not had a sensational performance. So Errol has a point, man. Like he's not knocking dudes out like he did with Carras or Diego Chavez or any of those guys. It's been a while since his power really shined through like he used to always highlight back in the past. And with that being said, his power at the top level with world-class fighters has not shown itself to be elite. Is it respectable? Yes. Is it effective? Absolutely. But is it elite? No, not with elite fighters. So, and that's fine, and that's very fine. But he should change his nickname, man. He should change his nickname, man. So, That's just what it is. Errol Spence letting Keith Thurman know that, hey, you haven't been one time for quite some time. So, it's best that you just be quiet because everything you're saying is pretty much irrelevant. So, let me know what you guys think, man. Like, what do you think about what Errol Spence had to say to Keith Thurman about, just saying like he's in a versus bubble and then always kind of like demeaning and degrading his accomplishments. Um, Errol Spence did beat Kell Brook, who I rated very highly. I know a lot of people see Kell Brook as damaged goods, but he's still. I still think of Kell Brook. I don't think Keith would do to Kell what Earl did to Kell, and that's just my opinion. I don't think he has that in him because I don't think he's a body puncher that Errol Spence is. A lot of things that Earl had success with that set up would wound up happening in the 11th round wouldn't have happened if Keith fought Kell because Keith can't do the things Earl can do. So that's my thing, man. So. And Keith's not as naturally big as Earl, so that's just what it is. But you guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below about this whole situation, and holler at your boy in the comments. Show love on the YouTube, show love on the Instagram at True School Sports. Like I always say in every video, man, my name is Brennan Taylor, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang. So until next time, take care, guys.